Welcome peeps, and today's video, as you've probably seen since you clicked on the video, is about ranking the Sternritter's Schrifts. I will be doing other rankings like these. I'll probably do an Espada one with their unique abilities as well, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And also probably doing other Sternritter rankings just with different things, maybe like speed or something like that. So for clarity, I'm going to drop my criteria for ranking these abilities. First, each Schrift will be judged on its own merit, not the person who owns it, or else this would just be a Sternritter ranking video. 2, I will be judging the combat merit in a 1v1, 1 versus team, team versus team, and the Schrifts versus Schrift scenarios. I won't specify every time on how well it does in each scenario, but just know it was taken into consideration. Win conditions have more value than draws or indeterminable ends, and being able to beat other Schrifts carries more weight. Number 3, each Schrift is judged as if given to a regular Quincy to see how useful it is. So, for example, if the Thunderbolt fights the Sigma, then both Quincy have equal stats across the board and equal amounts of Ryatsu, for whatever that matters to Quincy. Both combatants are Quincy. I will be removing certain restrictions on characters to make it a fair fight, and I'm pretty sure somebody knows what that means. So with that, here's my 2 cents. So starting off the list, and some may be shocked, others may have seen this coming, but number 29 is K. For the simple fact that we don't know what it is. I could speculate like everyone else and say the know or the knowledge or whatever, but from what we may infer from it, we don't know what the K represents. So the only thing we can do is just kind of, like I said, infer. Sure, getting to know your opponent and their techniques is cool, which is what we kind of assume it does by making physical contact, but it still requires contact and it doesn't seem to work as fast. I would actually say Roy Lloyd's version of the yourself does a lot better job of gaining knowledge than the K. Number 28, so if you know K was 29, then clearly 28 is, you guess it, N. N could possibly stand for the near or navigate. It is a super slick Schrift. Again, I can only infer what it does, but I'm assuming it either teleports you instantly to your target, or it allows you to teleport to your opponent's blind spot specifically. If this were the Schrift's ability, I would slide it probably to just above where the superstar is going to be, or maybe even higher into the top 10, but until then, just meh. At number 27, we have O, the Overkill. This Schrift is useless. Even in a match against multiple people, it's still useless. The Schrift requires the user to kill someone or something, which I'm not granting beforehand in these versus scenarios. Even if you manage to kill something like a bird flying overhead during a fight, or an enemy's teammate, or even just a bug on the ground, we don't know the amp that it gives, so its potential or its base can't even really be determined. It's like the Moxie ability in Pokemon, but at least there I know what I'm getting. At number 26, we have Q, the Question. It's only above the Overkill because it isn't completely useless in a 1v1 match. In Bleach, doubt makes you weak, and that can be said really in any fight in real life. So I could potentially see slightly debuffing my opponent mid-battle is useful. It is, however, a discount version of the fear with a much bigger weakness, talking. Coming in at number 25, we have L, the Love. Now this is a special case of a one-hit win kind of Schrift. If this ability lands, it's over. It could be almost every ability above it and behind it. However, it seems to move slow, and it's extremely basic. It has no versatility. It could go as high as second place if it was able to hit or just become more viable or diverse in use, but until then, the zombie is a much better version of the Schrift. Moving fast into 24, Y Yourself, Roy Lloyd's version. This version is inferior to Lloyd's version. It just copies the person's person and memories. It's more useful for infiltration or trickery than full-on combat. It could be more useful depending on the person it copies. Having someone know all your secrets and fighting style while fighting them may cause problems. Moving on to number 23, we have the Underbelly. This is a very powerful Schrift. It really is, and I really want to emphasize this. If so much time wasn't needed to make the shrift lethal, then it would be so much higher on this list. In a 1v1, if you don't finish off the user quickly, you lose to the underbelly 100% of the time. It can weaken, paralyze, knock out, and even kill an opponent, regardless of their overall power. The perfect example is when Nanana used it to KO Aizen, I think it was for about 5 minutes. So this is a truly powerful shrift. Now, number 22, we have R the Roar. This ability in close quarters combat is lethal. It literally pops heads. I think the Roar beats everything under it 100% of the time. Even if you're a distance away, the roars could disorient and cause temporary or even partial deafness. This could lead to a sense of imbalance and throw off the accuracy of something like the love, or keep someone from focusing with the underbelly. 22 is a good spot for a shrift that we really only see in one panel. I love Meninas, but at number 21, we have P the Power. Having the ability to exponentially increase your physical strength to the point you can throw around buildings like they're balls of paper, I'd say is pretty dangerous. Super strength is a basic ability with different kinds of application. Almost every great superhero has this ability in some form. That's because it's useful. I mean, imagine being able to just nuke a battlefield the way you see Sakura do in the 4th Great Ninja War. At number 20, we have Sigma. I didn't really know what to name this. I was going to go with Viability, but I'm just going to go with Sigma. So initially the Sigma was going to be higher because it could basically draw with the shrifts higher than it, or at least whittle down your opponent to the point that they were tired. But after looking at it, I don't value draws as much as wins. Plus, this ability doesn't increase the person's power at all, it just regenerates the body. It could easily beat the shrifts below it, or at least tie with them, but it doesn't give a decisive advantage over the ones above it. I also initially wasn't even going to include it, but ultimately it comes in at 20, being the discount miracle. At number 19, we have the Yourself Lloyd's version. So the superior version of the Yourself only comes in at 19 because it still has a major drawback. It can't get any stronger than when the person copied the other person. So if your opponent can increase their strength mid-battle or has an amp, it doesn't help. Also, it too can get a lot of draws or near victories that I don't count with the same value as a win. But if I did, this shrift would be much higher. If you combine both shrifts into one, Lloyd's version and Lloyd's version, I think you have a top 3 shrift easy. Now, one of my personal favorites coming in at 18, we have Z the Zombie. The Zombie ends up this high because I think that defensively, it is one of the strongest abilities. Its regeneration is almost as good as the Sigma's. It has a control ability like the Love, and any close quarter combat attack that draws blood without destroying it almost guarantees a win for the Zombie. In a team setting, it's the ultimate utility shrift and can fill so many different roles and niches such as healing. It is the most versatile shrift. It's only this low because I think it can be walled by some of the abilities that are higher than it. Number 17, G the Glutton. The Glutton is this high because its ability to devour things on almost any scale and be fine is dangerous. It's at 17 because getting too close is a death wish, and most of the abilities higher than it I feel have enough long range capability or can just completely wall it. Plus, if I'm counting the novels, she could possibly eat the zombie without any drawbacks and gain that ability. Adding abilities and absorbing them just makes her all the more deadly. Coming in at 16, we have S the Superstar. Now, by itself, this shrift isn't very good, but I'm adding in that the person gets their own cheerleader because it seems James and Mask are actually one being. If that's the case, then you need to destroy both at the same time, which isn't easy to pull off, giving this shrift all the more credibility at being at 16. While the Superstar does make the person getting cheered on stronger, we don't know how strong, and not all cheers amp. Some cheers heal. So it is a very versatile shrift. This shrift potentially could lose to the zombie, but I don't know if the cheer could actually heal the person infected. Plus, I don't think the shrift has the stopping power to beat the ones that are just above it. I know I'm going to get flack for this one, but at 15 we have F the Fear. This ability is broken and under the right circumstances destroys every shrift under it. Like, if the person cheering is so scared that they're speechless or frozen in fear, then the superstar gets no boost. Fear and how it affects people differently can be such a wild card. That's why it's here at 15. I thought halfway on the list was a safe spot to put it. Sorry, Asnot fans. Coming in at 14, we have one of my favorite Schrifts, the Iron. Man, this may be the most aesthetically pleasing Schrift, just in my opinion. It can wall almost every Schrift under it, and probably can outlast most of the offensively capable ones. I believe this is the most defensive Schrift, and maybe due to the layer of metal, it would neg the zombie, neg the love, deflect the glutton, and withstand the amped attacks of the superstar. The Iron is a fantastic ability, and if anyone has seen Full Metal Alchemist, you know how awesome invulnerable skin can be. Now, coming towards the end of our list, we have number 13, T the Thunderbolt. Now, remember, this isn't about the person using it, because we all know Candace isn't crazy strong. But being able to wield electricity in the variety of ways she's shown to be able to is kind of ridiculous. I believe with the Thunderbolt, exploiting the superstar's weakness of killing both of them at the same time is easy and capable, and there isn't a need to get close to someone like the zombie. There are area of effect attacks that you can also use with the Thunderbolt that can be used against someone who may have the fear, so kind of just keeping them at a distance. And the Iron is just one big lightning rod. This Schrift soundly beats all those below it. Coming in at number 12, I know this is going to make Captain Havoc happy, we have Jay the Jail. Just, wow, put some respect on Quill's name. His Schrift has some world-bending abilities. This man can literally lock dimensions with the jail. The thing can trap anything in a Reishi jail and potentially cause the opponent to just waste their energy attempting to escape. I am allowing it to work on other Quincy's in this scenario because, I mean, how unfair would it be if I didn't? Plus, we're ranking the merits and not the circumstance of the Schrift. Everyone above the jail, I believe, could break out of it, so that's why it couldn't go any higher in the rankings. But this ability, I feel, is underappreciated, and also it can control the pace of a fight very well. I think there are aspects to it that just a lot of people don't see. I know this one's gonna throw a lot of people for a loop. To be honest, it kind of threw me for a loop when I was making this list. I think a lot of people are gonna be surprised. But at number 11, we have W the Wind. Now this one's gonna round out the end of this video because I don't believe the wind can go any higher than this, and I think it completely destroys everything below it. As I said for the reason before, the jail comes in behind this because the wind could easily break free of the jail ability. The wind literally twists, curves, and bends space itself. It's a sick ability that can even be used defensively by deflecting or reflecting attacks while offensively being able to rend the opponent apart. Its ability to bend attacks away and potentially send them back makes it basically a hard counter to everything below it. If you get in too close, you're done because you're going to be split in half or turned into a pretzel. Even if you were to, say, throw lightning from far away, it could potentially be sent right back at you. It is dangerous, and it rightfully was only defeated by a Zero Squad member. Well, folks, thank you for watching. Wait, forgetting something. I know what it is. Something went wrong when I was writing the script. I forgot about a Schrift. I forgot about V, the vanishing point, Gwenolese. Since I already made this list, I'll give it a special designation of question mark. So V, the vanishing point, is dumb powerful. It has two abilities that can be combined into a third that makes it even more lethal. Version 1 causes Gwenolese's appearance to vanish, thereby turning him invisible. And he can still attack while he's invisible. Version 2 causes his existence to vanish, so he basically becomes intangible or untouchable. When using this version, he leaves behind an afterimage that can act as a decoy, giving opponents the impression that their attacks landed. Version 3, he combines them, and this causes someone's existence to vanish from within the minds of others, causing them to forget that they ever existed and thus confuse the enemy. He can even perform an ability that allows him to basically fade out of reality for an instant, allowing him to dodge people much faster than him. Their Schrift is powerful, but as Yachiru pointed out, if you fight an instinctual fighter, the ability won't be as surprising, but otherwise it is ridiculously broken. You could say that this is kind of Bleach's version of Cole from Dragon Age. Well, folks, thank you for staying and watching. I hope you don't agree with my list, because I really want to hear what you guys think. Some of the things I'm not completely sold on. There are some things I maybe would have changed, but this is the list that I settled on. This is really difficult, and I'm telling you right now, this top 10 coming up, this next part 2 video, is going to be just as bad, if not worse. I'm just letting you know now, there is a 5-way tie within the top 10. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Also, if you are here from my death battle response, I appreciate you watching that. That is like blowing up on my channel. It's the most views I've ever had. So please stay. I love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.